Welcome, everybody. I'm Gina, and today we're going to do a little bit of really gentle movement, some mindful breathing, some meditation. So come to a really comfortable position. If you're in a chair, feet on the floor, knees about hip width distance, if that feels good to you. And think about rooting down through your sits bones so that you can have a nice tall spine, like a proud chest, lowering the shoulders down and thinking about keeping your head over your spine. And it's fine if you are more comfortable having something behind your back or having something supporting you. That's okay. If you are fine self-supporting, that's also okay. One's not necessarily better than the other. We'll start today just with some really gentle movements to get into our body, and then we're going to do a grounding meditation. So we'll start with some head rolls, just really, really gentle in the neck, feeling into any areas that are stiff or tense, and maybe going slower than is possible for you or slower than is desirable, and seeing how that feels. How does the slowness feel in your body, and how does it feel to your mind? Because sometimes we want to do, our best, or we think that our best means being fast or being efficient or being first, and that's not always the case. And then we'll switch the other direction wherever you are, not really putting too much weight in the neck when the head goes back, but just being nice and gentle. And if there is a spot that feels particularly tense or tender, you can always just hang out there for a moment and then carry on. And when you get back to where you started, we'll put some movement in the shoulders, going in one direction. And again, these can be really, really slow and small if that feels good to you, or if you want to experiment with bigger movement and get the elbows involved, or if you want to experiment with really big movements and getting the arms involved, that's fine too. It's up to you. It's what feels good in your body. For some people, this is going to feel exactly right. Don't think that you need to push yourself or that you need to look like anyone else or that you need to be doing the same thing that I'm doing. Think about what feels good in your shoulders, in your back, and do that. And then switching the other direction. And again, you might bring the shoulder blades together really slowly and bring the shoulders up to the ears really slowly and forward and down. Or you might want to involve the elbows or the whole arm. It's really up to you, and it's up to how you feel in your body. Don't let the ego take over control. Let you really ask your body, what would feel good to me today? And then do that. And we'll shake that out and put some movement into the wrists. And that can either be with the fingers interlocked, if that feels good to you, or you could put the thumbs inside if that feels good to you. Or you can have open hands if that feels good to you. Or you could try all three and see what feels the best. And again, this can be big movements or it can be really small, gentle movements. Think about what feels good in your body, and one side might feel different than the other, which is also normal and fine, right? We are not very symmetric anyway. We're not as equal on the left and the right as we sometimes like to think we are. And then switching the other direction. And maybe opening and closing the fingertips if that feels good. Stretch. And then shaking it out, and we'll move down into the hips by just doing some easy hip circles, moving from one side to the back to the other side. And again, keep it small and slow. Test your balance. You can really test your balance by closing your eyes if that feels good. Or you can have the eyes open. We're just moving from one hip to the other hip, pressing into the feet, pressing into the hips, and then we'll switch the other direction. And again, you might get big and really push yourself to the edge of your balance, or you might stay really small. And again, it's whatever feels right to you today. And then we'll come back to our nice tall seat and put some movement into the legs and ankles. And you might just think very deeply and they might move a little bit, or you might unbend one knee and bring the heel back in, unbend the other knee, flexing the toes and bringing it back in. Maybe you press into the toes and do some ankle circles, or simply point and flex the feet. It's whatever feels right, whatever feels good in your body. And then we'll come into a bit of stillness once you feel like, okay, I've moved, gotten into my joints. Find yourself a really comfortable place. Maybe again you tuck something behind you. If you'd like to have your palms face up on your lap, that's if you're looking to gain energy today. Or you can have your palms face down on your lap if you're looking for grounding and stability today. Then I'll invite you to close your eyes. If that's not comfortable for you, that's fine. You can just lower your gaze. And I'll invite you to come into your breath, noticing where you feel the breath, noticing where the breath's coming in and out of the body. Noticing yourself taking up space and taking up more space with the inhale as your torso expands, and a little bit less space on the exhale. Inviting the breath into the belly, maybe putting the hands on the belly if it's a good reminder, letting the air come in, letting the diaphragm do its job, and then letting the belly sink on the exhale. Simply breathing is actually a really good workout. It works our diaphragm, which are a collection of muscles. It works our intercostal muscles, which are in between our ribs. And it works the heart, which is a really important muscle that pumps our blood all through the body. I'll invite you to extend your exhales. So however you're breathing in, see if you can make the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale. Turning on the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest response, our repair and restore response, our anti-inflammation response. And then if you'd like to set an intention for your practice today, now is a great time to do that. Thinking about something you would like more of in your life or in your practice. And if you're not sure what your intention should be today, you're welcome to borrow mine and say, I'm grounded. I am grounded. I am here in the present. I am grounded. So whatever your intention is, send it out into the universe. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. And we're going to move into a 4-7-8 breath. So if you're not familiar with this breath, it is at your count. Make it your pace. Do however feels right in your body, but it's inhaling for a count of 4. Holding the breath at the top for a count of 7. And then a long, slow exhale for a count of 8. So again, you don't have to go along with me, but if you are, it's in for 4. Hold for 7. And exhale for 8. And we'll carry on like this, focusing on the breath for about a minute or so. And if something happens and you get distracted, don't worry. If you lose the count, don't worry. You just jump right back in. It's not about being perfect. It's not really even about being good. It's about using the breath as an object of focus for the mindfulness. And when we hold our breath, when we have a bit of air hunger, that is actually a good kind of stress, the same way that taking a cold shower or fasting or exercising is a positive type of stress that helps our body develop and grow. We'll do 3 more rounds. Breathing in for 4. Holding at the top for 7. And exhaling long and slow for 8. One last one. Take your time. But at the end of your next exhale, let your breathing return to normal. Feel into your body. Feel into your feet on the ground, your hands. Just observe how you're feeling. We're going to do a body awareness grounding meditation. So make sure you're comfortable. If there's any place in your body that has become uncomfortable or is tight or is experiencing any amount of stress, see if you can breathe into that space. Maybe you separate your teeth or you roll your shoulders to let them settle, or you move in your chair a little bit. Make yourself really, really comfortable. Keeping our nice, proud, tall spine. Again, you can have your eyes closed or your gaze lowered. We'll seal the lips and breathe gently, quietly, and slowly through the nose. Working on some gentle breathing, really lightly, so you can barely feel the chest rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. On every exhale, let the weight of your body release further towards the ground. Let your seat hold you. With every inhale, notice the opposite, a rising and upward lifting energy that lengthens your spine, lets you grow a little bit taller. With every exhale, settling, and with every inhale, rising. With each exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the hips, relax the legs towards the ground. And with every inhale, feel a gentle lightness, a gentle upward lifting. And we'll rest here for a moment, finding this balance between the inhale and the exhale, the grounding and the upward lifting inhales. We'll take our attention now towards the exhale breath. Again, allowing the exhale to take up a little more time than each in-breath, lengthening and extending these nice, gentle, comfortable exhales. This is not about trying. It is not about doing. This is about allowing the breath really nicely, gently in and out through the nose where you can, and just letting the exhale be a little bit longer than the inhale. Notice the points on your body that are touching the earth, your seat, that are connecting somehow to the ground beneath you. You might feel the ground in the soles of your feet. or weight in your ankles. You might feel the weight of your legs in your shins or in your sits bones beneath your seat. Maybe you feel the chair underneath the back sides of your thighs. And remember, with every exhale, we're grounding just a little bit further, releasing the energy down into the earth. You could imagine that each of the points in your body that are connected somehow to the earth are expanding a tiny bit, are widening, the way water spills on the floor and continues to spread out, as if perhaps you're melting. And if at any point it feels maybe you're melting down a little bit too much, that's okay. We also have those in-breaths to feel light, to feel that rise, to feel weightless. So we can balance this settling, this grounding with feelings of buoyancy, feelings of lightness. Rest here and play with this connection between your light, easy, long exhales that are rooting you down, allowing you to melt into your seat, and these gentle, uplifting, rising inhales that allow you to feel buoyant and weightless. It's okay if your mind is still active. It's okay if your mind is very active. If you notice that your mind has wandered, that's okay. That's the moment of mindfulness, is the noticing. If it's chasing a thought, we don't have to question why. This is just what the mind does. It's really normal. We don't have to feel guilty. We don't have to feel bad. All we need to do is bring the mind back to the present moment, to the feelings of groundedness and the feelings of lightness, to the long, light, slow exhales and the uplifting, gentle inhales. And we can do this without judgment, without blame. We're just doing the meditation, and the doing means coming back and coming back again and coming back again. It means coming back to the body. How do I feel in this moment? It means checking in with your sense of the weight of your body, of the form of your body, the solidity of your body. How does it feel in the seat? What are the internal and external sensations you might be feeling? And getting really curious about your sense of yourself. Do you feel heavy or do you feel light? Do you feel stillness or do you feel the urge to move towards motion, towards getting up? Do you feel solid and rigid or do you feel fluid and malleable? There's no right or wrong answer. There's only the question, and the only expectation of ourselves is to be present with our body right here, right now. Feel the chair beneath you. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Sitting in relative stillness, being grounded, feeling rooted, feeling neutral. Finding this place of stability and noticing when the mind wanders off. And as many times as you need to, gently bringing the mind back to the body, bringing back to the anchor of the form of your body, the breath in your body, the ground beneath your body. We are stable. We are connected to the earth. You can think of your body as the home base for your mind. So even when the mind wanders, the body is grounded. The body is here. The body is right now. The body is not wandering. And so when the mind wanders, when the mind drifts away, we can bring the mind back to this grounded body, this still body, this relaxed body. As we start bringing this meditation to a close, we'll check in one last time with the space where your body meets the ground. So it could be your low back, your seat, behind your thighs, beneath your feet. On your next exhale, release down into the space, into the ground, into the earth. Breathe in, feel your spine lifting, feeling light, feeling buoyant. And then we'll start very gently bringing some movement into the body, maybe into the fingers, into the hands, pressing the toes into the earth, and maybe the heels lift. Pressing the heels into the earth, maybe the toes lift. Maybe giving yourself a little twist one side. And taking a breath there. And maybe a little twist to the other side. And taking a breath there. And coming back to neutral, tucking your chin to the chest and rounding the spine. And then bringing the chest forward and arching the back, put a little back bend in the spine. And then coming back to neutral, pressing the feet into the ground, breathing in, and gently, quietly opening your eyes and looking around, staying right where you are, but just observing your space. Stay with the breath for a few more rounds. When the eyes are open, it's much more difficult to stay aware of how the body is, where the body is, how the body feels. This is just a little practice. Can you have the eyes open and still feel the ground beneath you? Can you still feel the weight of your body in the chair? Can you still feel buoyant and lifted on the inhales? And then as you go into the rest of your day, make a note to be fully aware of what you're doing, of being conscious of the task at hand, and finding yourself in your body with your breath, with however the rest of your day goes. Thanks for practicing with me today.